Just a handful of climate change-related cases are brought before our courts, but in a recent United Nations report has warned the private sector there could be more cases against them as time goes by. Government and the private sector have to manage sometimes conflicting demands of pushing an economic recovery while also guarding against climate change. Alecia Pienaar is a counsel in the environmental practice at Cliffe, Dekker Hofmeyr. Alecia, good evening to you. Very few climate change cases brought in our courts, as I understand. In fact, probably very few around the world. What precedents have been set so far?
Hi, good evening, and thanks for having me. So, yes, in our court we have, over the past couple of years, I think really starting in 2018, we've only seen about 9 climate change-related cases, and they don't necessarily always deal directly with the issue of climate change, but rather the matters related thereto. That is quite different from what we're seeing internationally, where there is a massive uptake or increase in the climate change litigation space. I think this latest report reported something like over 2,000 cases that have been reported in over 65 jurisdictions, and there's been a marked increase sort of in the momentum of these cases. I think from 2020 there's been more than 600 filed.
Could we find one day that, for example, an oil company in South Africa or a coal company, or dare I say it, an electricity producer, could be charged, an individual could simply go and bring a case against them based on climate change alone? And I don't mean pollution damage to their own lungs, I don't mean pollution to a community, I mean just climate change.
Definitely. So, I mean, in the past couple of, I would say, over the past 12 months, we've seen significant damage that we were warned about for years in terms of global events such as the storms, the droughts. I mean, even locally, we've had immense amount of rain in Cape Town and Durban last year. The difficulty is in trying to link those events to climate change and then obviously to a specific source. That being said, I think that the climate change as a cause of action for taking action against government entities will definitely be a possibility. It already is. We've seen in one of our climate change judgments or cases that's currently pending is that the environmental justice group went against the Minister of Environmental Affairs and said that not enough is being done in terms of combating air quality in one of the priority areas. So it's definitely not something that might be, a possibility in future. We're already seeing it happen.
Would anyone be able to bring those cases? Anyone affected by climate change? I mean, I can see some fascinating law developing here.
Yes, now, I mean, locally in South Africa, we have quite a broad clause in the Constitution providing for access to courts. And, I mean, if you think about climate change and the broad impacts it does have on society, that ultimately will be acting in the broader interest of the public. So once you've brought the case on behalf of the public, I don't think there will be an issue in terms of local standard before a court.
Alecia Pienaar, thank you. Counsel in environmental practice at Cliffe, Dekker Hofmeyr.